Hey guys, this is Flashy again, aka James, depending on how you know me. Um, I wanted to give another commentary on kind of like how I started trick shotting and how it's kind of changed, like the way that trick shotting is today for me. Because I know I wasn't really like high into the community, so I mean I don't know much, but I mean, just from my point of view. um. The way that I started trick shotting, I mean, it probably sounds like a lot of people's. I've told people this story before and they've liked it, so I'm gonna tell you guys, see, the other people that haven't heard it. The way I started trick shotting was a very long time ago. I mean, the first time I got Xbox, I was in the 8th grade. So I turned 14 the day I got Xbox Live. That's kind of like how it rolled out. Is that when I turned 14, I got this trial. I got a 2-day trial, and I remember I was playing with my friends, and I got Xbox Live. Like it was crazy because I had Xbox. I got my first Xbox when I was 12. So in 6th grade, I got my first Xbox, but it took me until 8th grade to get Xbox Live. The people, are kind of surprised, like, whoa, that's kind of crazy. Or, but I used to be like an achievement hunter and play like games like Resident Evil, Halo, stuff like that, So, anyway, back to my story. When I first got Xbox Live, I had a friend. I texted him saying I got Xbox Live because he had Xbox Live, and he thought it was crazy. He's just like, dude, that's awesome. And I asked him because he was really big into the community when it came to MLG and stuff, and he quickscoped. Like, he was a big quickscoper, and so I asked him if he could teach me how to quickscope. He got me into this lobby. It was a free-for-all. It was on Scrapyard, and he had a bunch of people that were known when it came to being competitive. And I didn't know this at the time, but they were known when it came to like the community and stuff. I think there was like an optic in there, and they taught me how to quickscope. He taught me, all the steps, like the whole line them up, like line the person up with your crosshairs, and then zoom in and then shoot. It took me about 5 minutes to learn how to quickscope, and then my friend, even though he did like MLG stuff, I mean. He wasn't really big in MLG like my friend. His brother was. And, he was just friends with all of his brother's friends. And, believe it or not, he actually had iReaps added, my friend, because he added her before her account got hacked. Her original account. And so, anyway, going back to the story again, I asked him if he could teach me how to trick shot. He didn't really know much. He just did like 360s, and like would land on the ground and do 360s. And one day, I mean, I started like trick shotting, I started just like playing, and I became friends with this guy because he lived in my state, because he had like 801, which is, it's my state area code. And so I added him, and I started talking to him, and he was really big into quickscoping. That's another reason why I added him, is because he quickscoped and he was from my state. And his name was Dr. Clutch, except he had like a V on each side. But no, but anyway, so I asked him if he could teach me how to trick shot, because he knew how to like tack, knife, flip, and I'm like, dude, that's crazy stuff. Like, how do you do that? And he kept trying to teach me, and it was like really hard. I mean, it took me a while before I learned myself how to do it. I mean, I learned how to do a barrel roll before I learned how to do a tack knife flip. I learned how to do a tack knife flip a long time ago. I learned, like, when I learned how to barrel roll, I learned off of YouTube. And then I figured it was like the same concept with the tack knife flip. Just because that's what they said in the video, like, oh, it's the same thing, just, it's faster. And so I did it, I kept practicing, and I finally got good at it, and I showed Clutch one day, and I was just like, dude, that's crazy. I became friends with him, and we ended up making friends with this little kid. His name was Crippled Olive, and you know how people always have, you know, like juniors or something. He was kind of like, in a way, he was kind of like my junior, if not mine and Clutch's, because I mean he'd always follow us around. He was like this little kid, and he tried to trick shot, and you know, the way that, you know, that trick shotting was considered, people would always make fun of Crippled because, you know, first off, he had a random name, and secondly, because he was a squeaker, and thirdly, because, you know, his trick shots weren't that great. So I mean, I had a bunch of people hating on my friend, so it was, you know, it's like, don't do that, you know. But I mean, I can only say so much because trick shotting meant a lot to me, so I was just like worried about my reputation. It's really selfish of me, to tell you the truth. I mean, you can tell that just by, you know, talking. But I ended up losing Crippled as a friend, and I ended up losing Clutch as a friend later on due to that. But me and Clutch, before, you know, I lost him as a friend, we started a clan. Well, I started a clan, and I asked him if he wanted to join because he was great. I mean, there was like one time, like way back in the day. You gotta remember this. I mean, he almost hit a 3-piece kill cam, and it would have been like crazy as shit, you know. So, no, we were playing, and we made a clan, and I had this kid join. This other kid, I remember he told me, he's just like, dude, I can hit a temper, you know, before hitting the ground or whatever. And I'm just like, whoa, what is that? Like, that's pretty cool, I guess. And he's just like, oh, he taught me how to temper, and that's like the first time I learned how to temper. That was like the first like advanced trick shot I really knew. And then I created, I became friends through that clan with some other people, known as they had an old clan they had together back in the day because Jesse, which was HDX Teletubbies, he had a brother who was HDX TV or something like that. He was like HD through your TV, I think that was what he was saying or something like that. But no, his brother started that clan originally, and I wanted to pick it back up and just like start a clan, and I became friends with people. I became friends with Teletubbies. There was HDX Donuts. Really, it was like it was a really randy clan, like legitly. I remember I was friends with. There was this one black kid. I was just like all weirded out by him because he he sounded like way too black to be like our age. Like it sounded like he was like really old. But his name was HDX Trauma when he changed it. Because I remember his name was like something Bala before he you know, joined the clan. But anyway, so that happened. I also had a friend, some kid. He's just like, dude, I want to join your clan. You know, his name was Bo Crazy, and he was a pretty cool kid. You know, like he kind of, in a way, I think he kind of like envied me. I think he told me that he really liked me as a trick shotter, and like he kind of looked up to me. But because the reason why is because I hit the best trick shots out of everybody in that clan. Except for HDX Teletubbies. I mean, he was getting up there, like he was getting pretty close. And during this time, I saw Take the Risk episode. Yeah, Take the Risk episode. Trying to think of what it was. It was yeah, 19. I saw Take the Risk episode 19. You know, oh my gosh, Take the Risk episode 19 was great. Like it opened up so many doors for me. Like it was pretty crazy what that, you know, episode did for me. The simple fact that when I watched that episode, I mean, if you watch that episode, it's crazy. I mean, I downloaded the soundtrack to that on my phone because that's how great of an episode it is. And because the first way that I actually heard about Risk, I was in HDX at the time, and I had this kid join the session. I was playing on I'm trying to remember what the name of it was. It was a really shitty map, but I was playing with, it was Skid Row. Yeah, it was Skid Row. I was playing with this really, like, shitty, like, I don't know, I wasn't playing with anybody shitty, but it was, I was playing with Risk, and, I kept playing, and this kid joined my session, and he's just like, dude, aren't you excited right now? I'm just like, why? He's just like, dude, you're playing with Risk. I'm just like, who's Risk? And he's just like, really? I'm just like, yeah. He's like, they only have like 20K on YouTube. I'm like, what the fuck, really? He's just like, yeah, you should go check him out or whatever. Because this guy was literally, he was like the fanboy of Risk. And so, he totally like told me all about him, and I went to the channel. And, I went to the channel, I checked everything out, and it was crazy. Like, for all the episodes that I watched, and then I finally watched episode 19. That was the episode that came out the day that I went to their channel. It was kind of like speaking to me, you know, to go and see it. But yeah.
Counter UAV is up. Good work. Time's almost up. Enemy UAV spotted. Care package on the way. Enemy strafe run inbound. Care package on the way. Mission accomplished. Good work.